Hello, Tezzeret Simpers.
So you want to learn how to play with bones, ancient religious texts, and your great-great-great-grandma's ashes? Well, this is the video for you, because on this episode, we are talking about, you guessed it, artifacts. With the newest addition to Magic being Edge of Eternities, which is just a little while away, and with this set, we are going to be getting a ton of artifact support. So that's the prompt for what we were going to be talking about today. This is the newest addition in a series that I've been doing a lot lately, where I talk to you guys about a playstyle or archetype in Magic the Gathering, usually Commander, where I show you a couple of new ways to build them, and a brief explanation about what the archetype is about for any of you newbies. I've done 2 episodes in this series so far, one on tokens and the other on Spellslinger, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about artifacts. Artifacts in MTG are any of your ancient racist wind chimes, explodey bottles, cereal bowls of destruction, or the precious. They are so cool. I love artifacts so much. Not as much as Landfall, but that's neither here nor there. And it's very, very hard to find a deck in MTG, especially in Commander, that won't benefit from having cool swords, rings, or signets at all. I'm looking at you, Volo. And because they're so cool, powerful, and pretty, why not make a deck completely based around them? So like I mentioned, I've done a couple of these before, but in this one we're going to do something a little bit different. So hopefully some of the newbies can kind of learn how to build it and how they play, and maybe any of you veterans can also get some cool inspiration from this and enjoy yourself while you're here. So make sure to stick around too, or don't, I'm not your mom. So what is the first step in making a Commander deck? Why, picking out a commander, obviously, and arguably the most fun part. So let's find out what we're doing. Urtet! So luckily for you, but mostly for me, so I don't have to spend hours in research on this deck, I've already made this deck before. So Urtet may be 5 colors, but please don't let that intimidate you. He is not as complicated as it looks, and 5 color can be a lot of fun. Plus, you don't have to build him. This is just what I'm going to be doing and using as an example, so you can kind of get a feel for how the building process works. So as you can see, at his bones, Urtet is a 5-color Myr tribal commander. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be using him as an artifact tribal deck. And honestly, this deck is so much fun, I might just end up putting him back together. Urtet Urtet, Remnant of Memnarch. He says, whenever you cast a Myr spell, create a 1/1 colorless Myr artifact creature token. Then, at the beginning of each combat, you untap each Myr you control. But wait, there's more. You can pay 5 mana and tap down Urtet, and then put 3, count them, 3 +1/+1 counters on each Myr you control. I love this guy so much, and I think Myr are just super, super cool from even just from a lore perspective. He is just the best, and with the right list, he can be super, super powerful too. So let's go ahead and get into the build. You're gonna need a lot of Myr, obviously. So many Myr that it frankly hurts. The best of the Myr that you're gonna find for this list are any of the metal Myr. That includes Gold Myr, Silver Myr, Laden Myr, Iron Myr, and Copper Myr. These are all just 2 mana 1/1s, if I remember right, and each of them will just tap for one of each of the colors in Magic, respectively. These little guys are going to be the bread and butter of this deck specifically. And luckily for us, they're super, super cheap, as all cards should be. Now, other than Myr, what are you supposed to put in the deck? There's an awful lot of talk about artifacts at the beginning, but we haven't really gone too deep into the artifact synergy stuff. Where are all of them now? Well, you see this guy right here? Take a closer look. That's right. These guys are artifacts as well. And if you put enough of them in your deck, you get more artifacts when you cast artifacts. And with the right amount of Myr in your deck, that's 100% more artifact per artifact. Now let's see, what do you do with all of them? I mean, you can attack, obviously. I mean, your commander is basically goading you into doing it anyway. Or, and this is my favorite option, you can exploit them for money. Now, obviously, we talked about all of the metal Myr that tap for mana. And that's fantastic because you can untap all of them after your combat and essentially double the mana that they give you. Now, what if all of them did that? Well, luckily for us, our good friends over at Wizards of the Coast already thought about that for us. You can use cards like Cryptolith Rite, or Inga and Esika, Enduring Vitality, or even Jaheira, Friend of the Forest, to give that ability to all of your Myrs. So much so it'll give you so much mana that you won't even know what to do with it all. With all of your Myr tokens, Myr originals, and any other regular artifacts you have, you can get all of your artifact count stuff ready. And you can use cards like Shimmer Dragon to tap 2 of your artifacts to go ahead and draw a card, and then untap them if they're mirrors. With Cranial Plating and Nettlecyst, you can give your mirror a comically large arm to go ahead and punch with. A lot of artifact decks tend to give you a bunch of different ways that you can win, but this one mainly wants you to go aggro, and that's perfectly fine. And that's probably what we're going to be doing for the most part, but that doesn't mean you can't get creative with it. We can use cards like Mechanized Production to make some cool copies of just a cool artifact you have lying around, and then once you control a bunch of artifacts with the exact same name as each other, then you get to win the game. And please note that you can put it on any artifact you control, like, I don't know, your Genesis Chamber, and then once you control enough 1/1 mirror, because they're technically the same name, you win the game. Also something unique to Artifact, where this is still aggro, but you can make what are called Constructs. Constructs are construct creature tokens that have star, power, and toughness, and they say that this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, including themselves. Here are some of the cards that make them. Have fun. Then we've got Affinity. Affinity is a mechanic that allows you to discount the spells you cast by the number of artifacts you control, such as Thoughtcast, which allows you to draw 2 cards for most likely just 1 blue mana. Emery, Lurker of the Loch will cost a lot less, and then you can mill some stuff and return stuff from the graveyard. Broodstar, which is basically just a construct on a creature, and Thought Monitor, which gives you a 2/2 flyer that draws you 2 cards. And one of the coolest being Mycosynth Golem, which will give all of your artifact creature spells affinity for artifacts, which is insane, especially in a mirror deck where all of them are going to cost basically nothing. And as for Edge of Eternities, which is the set that is coming out soon, that basically prompted this video, we're going to get some crazy cool artifact synergy stuff, especially treasures like Sammy Wildcat Captain, who will give all of your spells affinity for artifacts. And when it comes to some of the other artifacts that you want to put in this deck, or any other artifact deck for that matter, is really a matter of taste. What looks cool, what fits your niche better than any other card? For this deck specifically, it's obviously Mirror. Mirror, let's be honest, are not one of the more powerful creature types in Magic ever. I mean, look at them. I mean, I love them, but damn. That being said, what is your niche? What are the cards that are going to go in your deck better than any other cards? What cards are you going to be putting in your Imskir, Iron Eater, Juggernaut tribal deck? Damn, that's a good idea. Is it too late to remake this one?
Yep.
Shit. Well, I guess you get that one for free. But to my point, there's a lot of things an artifact deck can be. Saying artifact deck just really doesn't narrow it down enough. That being said, artifact decks are still really easy to build and still so much fun. Like, you can honestly take any random commander that cares about sacrificing artifacts or the just sheer amount of artifacts, go and grab an assload of Draft Shaft bulk from your collection, or go to the bargain bin and get all of the bulk from there in just any colorless artifact you can find, and you can still have a really fun deck. Please don't do that. Put a lot more care into your deck than that. As a quick summary, to build and play artifact decks, you want a ton of card draw, a bunch of mana, artifacts that will just give you a bunch of value when you play them. And to win, you want to do a Mechanized Production, make a bunch of copies of something like that, with like amount of artifacts, you win the game kind of stuff, as well as tons of little tokens, and mainly convincing the table that you're just a little guy, even though you're sitting there with your 7, 18 constructs. But yeah, that's about it. They're super simple and a lot of fun. These decks, they can make you feel really cool and smart and powerful at the table. I definitely recommend anybody who hasn't played Artifacts to go ahead and give it a try. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Like I said, I have a couple more like this, talking about archetypes in Commander. I have one on tokens and also one on Spellslinger. Be sure to watch because there's many more of these to come. I have a lot of fun doing these, and consider subscribing for more. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.